Oops. I just pulled my webcam down. Does it still work? Just a second. Yeah, it still works. What up? Okay, we've got one more here. Oh wait, we've got two more. Okay. Alright, here we go. We'll watch this one, and then we're going to do some more leveling, then we'll watch this one later, okay? So we're going to watch this one now and this one later. Okay, here we go.
Open door in 5.
Oh.
4.
Oh.
Now.
Oh, fuck, let me in. No.
Uh-oh.
Bastard. Fucking scum, you horde scum.
Oh,
let me in.
there it is.
Let me in. Fuck.
There it is, dude.
Oh, fuck.
And he can't get in the door now.
I'm in.
He's gonna make it. Oh, yeah.
So, you're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Yep.
Well, last time, our hero fought bravely to overcome harsh perils and tough times, completing Black Fathom Deeps in Ashen Vale and flying off into the distance.
Beautiful.
So how did I end up storming Scarlet Monastery, a dungeon way above my pay grade, wielding an extremely powerful weapon, with a group of gnomes, one of which I hold a lifelong grudge towards, who through a series of events I'll explain later, ended up unequipping all his armor to sit down and enjoy a regular day in World of Warcraft. And then, the Fire Nation attacked.
Okay, dude.
I'll have you know I've gone through much peril to bring you this video. The Death Mode saga has finally come to a close as they've yet again declared my apartment legally fit for human life. I'll admit it was my fault. I should have refrained from chopping that milk in half with an axe years ago, but there's no use in
why would you
crying
do
over
that?
spilled milk. What's important is focus.
What the
who,
fuck?
What, when, and the where. I traveled from Ashen
Who the
Vale to
fuck does
Duskwood,
that?
exploring a new land in search of quests. You see, I had to get to level 30 to execute Order 66, or as it's referred to by the WoW community, absolutely ruining our game. But I digress. In my time there, I killed foul ghouls and scary skeletons. I met a man who through a very advanced form of schizophrenia was actually 5 people, 4 of which were buffing his conscious self. I got enriched by the local culture and killed a mage in his own bed. Completely honorless, but also something he'd never expect. Found a mob spawned inside of a wall. Fucking unplayable 15-year-old trash game. Became acquainted with what the locals refer to as the situation, and I made an enemy who I harbor great negative emotions towards. I saw a bunch of people posting in the chat about this one rogue who was just terrorizing this relatively low leveling area. When he finally believe it,
he's level 35.
Bastard. The same fucking.
Like, how low is your self-esteem that you have to go and gank people at level 35? I mean, that's so, like, honestly, like, you know what it is? The dude can never find an SM group. He can't quest for shit. So he just decides, you know what, man? This is my life now. I'm never going to hit 60 anyway. I'm just going to go out there and gank people. That's what happens. Typical Horde player. Yeah. Can't find an SM group. That's what's going to happen instead.
Guy from way back then. Getting ganked by a rogue in WoW is truly falling victim to one of the classic blunders. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, and I'll advertise the creation of a mob to hunt you down. All Horde players are just people that had awful parenting, and it was time to cleanse Darkwood of this evil. We used a formation that's in American football referred to as the Dirty Gremlin. We split up in 3 directions from where the rogue was last seen, and all act as bait. When the child in need of a proper father figure can't retain his misplaced emotions any longer, he strikes just as I expected. I rejoiced and truly tasted
he got his ass
sweet
beat,
victory.
man.
Sindolf should have known never to start a land war in the Eastern Kingdoms, but only slightly
losing the Grey Level Alliance.
Never going against the Night Elf when death is on the line. He killed me and logged off. And then I did something despicable. After reaching level 30 through various means which I'm not legally obliged to disclose, I went scouting for a guild, not because I lacked companionship, but rather because I was gonna take them for all they had.
That's
you see,
smart.
at level 30 you get access to your warrior quests, which if completed give you access to Berserker Stance and the Whirlwind Axe respectively. Now
That's a big
through
one.
traditional means,
That's
one
a
could
big
possibly begin to take on these tasks at level
That's
30.
a big old boy.
That is where the guild comes into play. You see, warriors suck so fucking much at leveling that they almost sort of default into being the best scaling class in the game. It's quite unimpressive when you think about it. Here's my math. Due to the lackluster experience, warriors are in high demand, and guilds are oftentimes very invested in helping their warriors progress to a point where they can raid. Here's where the aforementioned ruse comes into play. I joined a guild and convinced this poor soul to help me through the entirety of my warrior quest chain, which requires a couple steps. First, we have a stern talking with our warrior class trainer, who tells us we need to travel to a faraway island. With haste, I return to Duskwood and enter possibly the biggest world PvP clusterfuck in the game, which both thematically and geographically is almost entirely like Vietnam. One of the actual inspirations behind this rumble in the jungle. Our goal is to make it to Booty Bay at the southern tip, where we'll not just pick up a flight path, but also take a boat to Merchant's Coast in the Barrens. I was terrified of all the Horde players, and I focused so much on avoiding them that I died to the mob. With a few minor incidents along the way, I managed to claw my way through the jungle and get to Booty Bay.
Probably took
that actually
an hour.
rhymes. That's actually bars. With the few minor incidents along the way, I managed to claw my way through the jungle and get to Booty Bay foot. On the real though, compared to how much my friends and everybody in this game was hyping this area up to just be a death zone, the Horde players were actually surprisingly nice, just letting a low-level player pass through.
They don't give a fuck.
I'll be sure to remember
they don't care.
And I'll be kind to these Horde players once I reach level 60 and return to this jungle with 100 men armed to the teeth. But I digress.
I can relate.
Now, if I had jumped off the boat well ahead of time, I would have been right next to the island. Instead, I went mountain climbing for 15 minutes before realizing I went the wrong way. To then find out that there's a fatigue system in the game. You can absolutely exert all your energy and drown. In World of Warcraft, you learn something new every day. I finally make it to the island and speak to Clannoch Magleod, a reference to the musician, who wants me to kill Big Will, who's actually also a reference to the musician Big Will. After doing this man's dirty work, we learn Berserker Stance and begin the hard part of the quest. We journey all the way to Hillsbrad Foothills, tie to Helcular, up through the Alterac Mountains, and speak to Bathra the Windwatcher, who gives us the WoW class quest equivalent to 40 shots of tequila. At once. We gotta bring him 8 life root, 30 blood scalp tusks, and an essence of the exile. The life root is pretty cheap, but we'll be bankrupting our economy for the essence. You see, to make it you need 8 cresting, burning, and thundering charms. Something I could spend a week grinding or just buy on the auction house. After getting scammed by various Chinese auction house bots, I headed to Stranglethorn Vale to meet up with the man who was spending hours of his life helping out a new guild member.
For no reason.
Blood scalp tusks
I never knew Greek was such a nice guy. This is crazy.
And by that, I mean agonizingly slow,
this is
unreasonably inconsistent, and altogether an irreconcilable experience void of any gratification. We have to kill trolls until I have 30 tusks. It's not unusual to kill 10 without getting a single drop. There is one area where a lot of trolls spawn, but we got killed there 5 times in a row and decided it wasn't fucking meant to be. Which left us with the option of farming this much shittier part. It felt like the good area, but sugar-free. Like the discount experience for the losers who couldn't hack it.
Great
this was
value
diet
trolls.
tusk farming, and I wasn't having fun. In the jungle, there's no mercy. You kill people to steal their mob. You kill people to layer them. In fact, you kill people just because you fucking can. It's not like you got anything better to do whilst waiting several minutes for a troll to spawn. I started farming these tusks at 1:30 a.m. and it took a solid 2 hours before I had 30. By this point, my man had actively been assisting me for nearly 4 hours.
Oh my
We then journeyed back to the Alterac Mountains to complete the final part of the quest.
Holy
After
shit.
Bothrog cooks up a potent concoction, we perform the summoning ritual. After which, Cyclonian kills us immediately. It wasn't even close. We definitely needed assistance.
I was about to say.
I looked through my friends list, and the only person online was Larry 6, the
great.
infamous gnome of
He can
doom.
use his weapon.
I swallowed my pride and asked for his help. He obliged, and with the help of a couple people from my guild, we finally managed to take down Cyclonian.
Feels like an
turned in
MMO.
the quest and was finally the proud owner of the Whirlwind Axe, a weapon so goddamn good for my level that it should be illegal to wear at level 30. After receiving the axe, I told my guild it's been a pleasure doing business with them, and immediately left the guild.
Hold on. Darkness just texted
God damn, dude! We're so
Larry and I agreed to meet up some other time to settle our differences. And it was at this very moment that I started rising to glory. You see, I checked my mailbox. Abortion sent us a letter titled, Got Milk, containing 235 glasses of milk. He also included a second package with 5 pounds of flesh, troll sweat, mystery meat, and vision dust.
Absolutely
incredible.
incredible.
What to do with these.
Sounds like my viewers.
Send us 69 silver to compensate for what he did in Dead Mines. This letter was titled, Mental Disability. Here's 2 gold for the trouble, you poor rascal. Huckster says use these to beat mages and sends me 2 free action potions and 2 swiftness potions.
Damn.
These will come in very handy.
I bet they will.
Diarrhea says, wear a shirt, you filth. I humbly accepted my new garments. Mind if I put my sweet nectar in your moist cornbread? Please don't message me again. And Rurik makes a generous contribution to the crusade.
10 gold!
These 10 gold will be spent very
10
well.
gold,
I'm gonna invest them in
dude!
goblin rocket boots.
What
that
a
might
nice
blow up
guy.
and getting e-drunk with presumably
This is a
women.
great guy.
Speaking of presumably women, I got a promiscuous letter from Big Titty GF, who sent me some of her homemade cheese. I told her it was disgusting and sent it back.
Yeah,
and
it's
now
nasty.
it was time for a dungeon. Not the one from the intro, we'll get to that, but rather it was time to bludgeon our new axe on Gnomeregan. The only dungeon in the game where almost every single enemy is a gnome, a dungeon I chose for no particular reason. Starting time 1 AM. Catchphrase, here we go again. If God is real, amen.
Wow.
Just kidding. This run was a disservice to human intelligence.
I thought that was a
and
quick
probably
20
the
minutes for a
biggest
second.
fiasco I've
Okay.
encountered during
All
my
right.
100+ hours
That's
in
good.
Azeroth. It's honestly impressive that this many things could go wrong at the same time. Check it out, right? I couldn't get the first key
You're
card
only
to drop,
starting.
probably because of a bug, but possibly due to unfathomable bad luck. So no quest XP for me. Later we survive an ambush, after which Blastmaster Shortfuse sets off an explosion and closes the entrance to the tunnel. Somehow, I managed to walk through the rubble just at the moment before the invisible wall gets put into place. And there I stood, completely soft-locked.
Wow.
I couldn't Hearthstone out or get my health to 0. Had it not been for the Warlock summoning portal, I would have had to start a new life as a cave dweller. Our whole group then goes on to miss the second punch card, and our warrior needs for a ring with spirit and stamina. This caused Tractor, our mage, to have a mental breakdown.
Fucking retail kid.
On the chat, I managed to aggro a group of mobs.
Classic
My
WoW
comrades
community.
stand still and watch me die. I call Tractor a Redditor. He leaves the party, and I managed to get exactly 11 out of 12 essential artifacts before having to
Imagine
give up.
being a
Considering
Redditor.
literally everything went wrong, I thought it couldn't possibly get any worse. So I find a new group and start all over.
That's good.
That jump was perfect, by the way, and on purpose. Gnomeregan, or Gnomeregan, Gnomeregan, whatever.
Gnomeregan
is a stale experience with a bit of charm to it. It's not utterly poorly designed like Stockades, but there's nothing extraordinary either. So let's—
There is, but it's too complicated to figure out. Like, Gnomeregan's a great dungeon, but you have to have a PhD to understand it. Like, you have to have not just a PhD, but a PhD in Gnomeregan. Like, if you don't have at least a master's degree in physics, don't even bother going into this instance. It's a waste of your time.
Skip past all the boring shit. 5 a.m. we wiped to these arcane nullifiers and got to
We did the same
re-experience
thing.
Blizzard's patented, gruesome, walk to your corpse gameplay. We make a calculated jump
High
that
quality
brings us
gameplay.
within an inch of losing our lives. I get disconnected. After reconnecting to the Blizzard multiplayer experience, I use the
that must be
auto blow
Kel'Thuzad.
too, because might as well while I have the chance. It's not like
And
I'll ever
Farlina.
do this godforsaken fucking dungeon again. Then, after a long night of harsh grief and misfortune, it was time for the boss.
That's good.
You already know what I did. If you've seen the first 3 videos, you know the pattern, you know what's coming, you've seen this before. Going utterly against the suggestions of my comrades, I charge in whilst our healer has 0 mana, proceed to die without popping my health potion, and somehow I still have the fucking nerve to ask for a goddamn revive whilst my whole group gets slaughtered. After we all wipe, I had to undergo the walk of shame. After spending an amount of time to get back to the boss room,
This is
I
really
finally
funny
managed
whenever
to beat
I'm not in the
Gnomeregan.
group.
It's at this point that I'm supposed to feel satisfaction.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, no matter how many completed quests I have in my log, no matter how close I am to hitting level 32, there's absolutely no happy juices left in the brain when you're at the tail end of an infamous WoW session till the sun rises. Having had my fill of dungeon grinding, I decided to go on an adventure, seeing as I'm the type of person who would rather spend 3 hours of my life than Google the next appropriate zone for my character. I started at Hillsbrad Foothills, went through Silverpine Forest, and found a giant purple ball in Dalaran. I met this undead priest who danced with me and licked me, after which I'd earned his trust. I led him into a faraway cave and fucking killed him. I swam across Lordamere Lake and met this old couple living in a house. I found out the hard way that they don't take kindly to strangers.
No, they don't.
When I finally got away from them, an assassin unstealthed and killed me in cold blood. And then I did all that again, in wisp form, after which I entered Horde territory.
What could go wrong?
Tirisfal Glades apparently wasn't scary enough, I decided to venture into Undercity.
Yeah, what's in here?
I quickly changed my mind. Now here is where my exploration took an unexpected turn. I saw a Zeppelin for the first time, seeing as it was garrisoned by death guards, packed to the brim with Horde players, and headed to an unknown destination. I immediately knew I had to board it. Using corpse walking, I res inside the airship and fly off into the distance, eagerly awaiting unknown lands. Now the very unfortunate thing was that an orc found me. Considering I revealed myself, that really shouldn't have come as a surprise. As he enforced natural selection at its finest, I managed to hold on to dear life just a tad longer by doing my sexy dance. When he started skanking, I actually thought I was safe. But lo and behold, he was still gonna end me. And just as I'm about to die, we entered the loading zone to Kalimdor. Having mildly better internet than my oppressor,
now we can go over to Orgrimmar.
I seize the moment and jump out of the blimp. I land safely in the water and swim to the shore. However, it didn't take long for me to realize that this was no place for a night elf. With a great sense of urgency, I decided to take the airship back. In Durotar, you can expect to run into just a couple Horde players taking advantage of the free public transit. I zoom past them and hide in the cargo hold. Everything was going smoothly until I was yet again discovered by an orc. I tried to
he'll be nice. This guy will be nice. You won't attack him.
Discovered that he had all the leverage.
Very polite.
When he inevitably tries to stab me, I jump out of the Zeppelin. I survive the fall just to be met by a small army of Horde players that can all see the big red arrow above my head. I suppose what happened next was to be expected. I'd had enough of this shit and took the Hearthstone home, flew to Theramore Isle, and ran through Dustswallow Marsh. With only a handful of deaths, I trek my way through the Barrens and make it to Thousand Needles. So my gnome friend here is one hit away from dying. Naturally, I do everything in my power to save him from this gruesome sheep, who much to my surprise turned out to be an orc under a spell. Man, look at that. That's just goddamn beautiful. Took me 3 hours. Now in WoW, you can't actually communicate with the Horde. Whatever they write gets distorted into Orcish, but people have figured out how to type shit in Orcish. And when I tried questing, only to be slain time and time again by this bastard who kept telling me to go back to retail, I'd had enough of this terrible place. In a last-ditch effort, I went to Gadgetzan to pick up a flight path so this entire journey hadn't been for nothing. And that was the very moment that I received a message from the gnome, asking if I wanted to join in on farming Scarlet Monastery. monastery, on the condition that I stopped picking on gnomes. Even knowing my track record with dungeons in WoW, I convinced myself that this was the move. Seeing as the boss could yield an X I wanted more than anything else in this game. Therefore, I went all the way back to Hillsbrad Foothills and met up with Larry.
Big boy.
And this is actually the funny part. Remember that entire journey I just described to you?
Yeah.
Now I had to do half of it again. And together with an individual who simply couldn't stop talking about how I should stop being mean to gnomes.
So you like to pick on little guys, eh?
With 10% luck, 20% skill, and 15%
it's a lifestyle
power
for
of
them.
will, we actually make it to our destination in one piece. Now, if almost every dungeon leading up to this was a full-blown clusterfuck, this was a well-oiled machine. A symbiotic magnum opus, showcasing teamwork and synergy I never thought possible.
The true classic
Having
experience.
several mages busting through armory is a fucking beautiful sight to behold.
It is.
Prior to this, if I aggroed a few mobs, I was the bastard who fucked up.
Yep.
Now, anything less than 10 mobs was considered wasting time.
It is.
I had to throw in the towel and admit, alright, I'm having a good time here, this is fucking gameplay. Larry even drank the Noggin Fogger elixir, which made him even smaller. Honestly, I respect a man of that size. These gnomes were clearly giving me the absolute hookup, and I could do nothing but reciprocate. Leading us to the part in the intro which I so shamelessly clickbaited you with. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to inform you that nothing extraordinary happened beyond that point. We ran the dungeon a couple times. I got Herod's helmet and shoulders, yet no X.
Where's Ravager?
The day after, I decided to try again with a new group.
What the hell is this guy doing? Oh, there you go.
Painfully slow. We ran the dungeon for 4 hours before the Ravager finally dropped, at which point, Svan Pult, the man who'd previously informed me that the X was of no use to him, needs on it and I lose the 50-50 roll. Dungeons in World of Warcraft, man. I'm starting to see a pattern here.
What a dog shit game. What a dog shit game.
As a silver lining to end the video on a high note, I rekindled with my bangin' WoW GF Elizabeth.
Wow.
She'd been grinding the real world, resulting in a solid level deficit, landing me the power position in the relationship.
That's right.
Financially, I was a powerhouse. DPS-wise, I was a primal fucking animal. And that's why they always come crawling back, especially if you don't tell them about the letter from Big Titty GF. Anyways, that's the end of our journey for now. Getting E-smashed with presumably women. Would our hero ever get the Ravager Axe? Would Swak Wictus rise to the occasion? And what gruesome adventures awaits our hero? I suppose you'll find out if I don't quit playing this game. Which I might.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, dude. I think the best part about this is, like, as a good player, or not a good player, but like an experienced player, right? You, like, see him sitting there with, like, a heroic strike queued up, and it's like, bro, just hit the fucking, just go, and you hit execute, and he doesn't hit execute, he's just fucking around. Now, we are gonna watch the next one, but we're not gonna watch it right now, because right now, there's something else you guys are gonna have to watch, and that is me hitting 60. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna do it now. You guys want to see it now? Like, let's see. How long is the last one? Let me just take a look. 16 minutes. What do you guys think? Now or later? Now or later? What do you guys think? I'm close to 60. Yeah, everybody wants it now. Okay, you know what? We've watched the other ones. We will keep up. And we will watch the last one real quick. You know what, guys? We will do it. I don't like giving the chat what they want, but just this one time, we will do it, okay? And, yeah, that's fine. Give me a second. Let me pull this up. Watched the pirate video about Chronicle yet? No, I haven't. All right, here we go. Really? My reaction video already has 90,000 views? Holy shit.